This video focuses on the 1966 case of Miranda v. Arizona, and though it's not a mandatory case in the eyes of College Board, it's one that we've gone over a little bit. And we're going to spend a little bit more time on because there are elements of it that might show up on the AP test. All right. So, this question or this case centers around the individual pictured. His name is Ernesto Miranda. He was arrested for kidnapping and rape, and after being interrogated for 2 hours without an attorney, they basically got a written confession from him. As I mentioned, no attorney was provided. He wasn't told that he had the right to remain silent, and he also wasn't told that he had the right to an attorney. This case involves whether or not law enforcement officials can assume that individuals know what their rights are, or do they have to specifically tell them what their rights are. This is partially a Fifth Amendment case because it deals with like self-incrimination and not sort of having to like speak if you are accused. And it also deals with the Sixth Amendment, which provides the right to an attorney. So again, the question is whether or not law enforcement has to tell you have these rights, or if you're just supposed to know. This was a 5-4 decision that overturned Miranda's conviction, and basically the ruling is that no, right? Law enforcement can assume that you know what your rights are, and this begins the need for law enforcement to read what are become known as the Miranda rights, named after this case, telling accused individuals they have the right to remain silent, they have the right to an attorney, right, and then anything they say can be used against them in a court of law, right? We've seen enough shows on TV, and we've talked about this in class, that you understand what the Miranda rights are, and they stem from this particular case. Remember, we also talked about the exclusionary rule, that if law enforcement were not to tell you what your rights are, not to tell you have a right to remain silent, not to tell you you have a right to an attorney, and you weren't to incriminate yourself, then ultimately that like admission of guilt could be removed as being used as evidence at trial because it wasn't obtained like legally. So this is the beginning of law enforcement having to read suspects to their Miranda rights.